Alright, we have seen our super duper project with the threaded headset, and we know how to adjust the height of this handlebar and also how to adjust those bearings here, the headset. We have been talking about our threadless headset with the aluminum steering tube of our fork. Doesn't matter that it was lefty, it would work for your forks as well. And now we have the same system like the last time, which means it is the threadless system, so there is no thread on our steering tube, but as you can see here, the steering tube is made of carbon fiber. So, what's the difference? As we all know, the aluminum is more durable than carbon fiber, so we have to be very, very gentle when dealing with carbon fiber. So, here we've got also the lower and upper bearing. We have also the bolts that are assembling the stem to the steering tube of our fork and all actually together. And then we have also some system that will make all those parts work together, and we'll be getting rid of the play because of this. So, as you might remember from the threadless system with the aluminum steering tube, we had the top cap and we had the anchor that was inside the tube, the steering tube. I'm gonna show you once again. It's just here inside. That's the anchor there. But here we can't be using such anchor because of the carbon fiber. So we have this expander. How it basically works, I will just take this part off. Okay, so we've got some bolt here, 5mm hex, right? And when we are tightening this bolt, as you can see, this little part is pressing against those four, so that the expander expands in all four directions at once. As you can see, it expands, right? And it goes back. So this is the expander. This is the kind of anchor that will be assembled into our steering tube, right? And here we've got the other part of it. And why we have this thread here, I will tell you in a minute. All right? So, at the moment, we have, of course, some play in the bearings. If we were to brake the front wheel and rock the bike back and forth, mine is now on my turbo trainer, so I'm not gonna do it. But you know from the previous part that you will be feeling some play in the bearings now. But first, let's just adjust the height of our handlebar. As you can see, I've got some spacers here. When I bought the bike, all those spacers were just below the stem, so the position would be quite upright. And I just took two little spacers and a huge one actually, just up over my stem. So my position actually was lowered at about, I don't know, let's say 2 inches or something like that. So this is ready. The other thing is, if I was to get rid of the spacers, let's say I'm gonna take this one off. As you can see here, you see the steering tube, and the steering tube should be at least 2-3 millimeters below the spacer. So I'm gonna actually cut the steering tube and in the nearest future, but just for today I'm gonna show you that I have to keep all these spacers so that I have this difference. This is even more than 3 millimeters, maybe 4, but it shouldn't be more than this. This is just fine, all right? And now one thing is that since we have the carbon fiber steering tube, we can't be tightening those bolts against a hollow carbon fiber tube, because we would just crack it. We would just damage it. So we've got this expander, and Canada say that this top cap should be at the top bolt level, and this expander here should be at the lower bolt level. And as you can see, with all those spacers here, this top cap is a little bit too high. So I really have to get rid of some spacers at least and cut the steering tube, because now when I'm putting it into the frame, this bolt is actually compressing against nothing, almost nothing. It should be maybe like that. Now you'll be seeing it better, right? And this bolt will compress against the expander. We can adjust the height of it, as you can see, by screwing and unscrewing it, right? So I'm gonna just make sure that the expander is as low as possible. But of course, one thing, it can't be like just, you know, like that. It should be a little bit more together, all right? So let's just say this is okay. And now, when I put this inside, first I'm gonna assemble the expander into the steering tube by using this hex key inside, right? So I'm not gonna be unscrewing or tightening this top cap. I'm gonna only make the expander to expand actually, all right? So let's just put it inside. Let's assemble the expander. The expander is assembled now, and we're gonna still have some play in the bearings. And now I'm gonna use not the 5mm but the 6mm hex key, and this will fit here to the top cap. And now I'm gonna get rid of the play between the upper and the lower bearing, right? So in order to do it correctly, it would be best to take the bike off the turbo trainer and then rock the bike and see whether it's fine. I'm just showing you. So let's say there is no play now. I was talking about it in the previous video, but maybe you haven't seen it. Sometimes we won't be able to check whether this top cap is tightened enough just by rocking the bike, because we don't feel any play, but then we go out and ride and we hit some bumps and then we hear, and that means it's not tightened enough. So some people would rather tighten it a little bit too much, a little bit. This is carbon, we should be very, very careful with it. And when I'm starting feeling some friction, then I will just unbolt it a little bit until it works just very, very fine. I'm able to turn my wheel and there is no friction at all. When the bearings have no play and no friction, then I'm ready to use my 4mm hex key in order to just assemble the stem to the steering tube. Once again, you can't do it, you can't overdo it, because then we can really damage our carbon fiber steering tube of the fork. I said that also in the previous video, but I'm gonna repeat this. So the bolt on the top cap, that's the one that's compressing the bearings, making that we make sure that there is no play. And these two bolts will actually assemble the stem into the steering tube. So when those two bolts are tightened, we should never try to manipulate with the top cap. In order to do anything with our headset, the bearings, we have to unscrew those two bolts, and then the top cap will be compressing not just against the stem but against the lower bearing, making that the whole system will work just fine as one. So this is one thing very important that we always should have in mind. All right, so this is it. If you've got more questions, just let me know in the comments below, and I will see you soon in another video. Bye.